pulled upon that you wanted to withdraw and get away from everybody? Or as they say in Atlanta, everybody? Maybe it was a family reunion. Perhaps it was a recent visit from your children and grandchildren. They were all laughing and talking and maybe screaming and squealing and having a good time. The big screen television was on, and you just wanted to go in your room and lock the door. Well, that's Jesus in this text. In Mark's account of this very same story, Mark chapter 7, Mark writes that Jesus entered a house and wanted no one to know it, but he could not be hidden. That's Mark 7:24. You've been there, haven't you?
Yes.
Just wanted to get away. There's so many needs represented in this room, so many needs in this house. I just need a break. I need to get away from all these chariots. And as much as Jesus tried to escape, he could not. Mark says he could not be hidden. He couldn't hide if he wanted to. Back in Numbers chapter 13, not something we need to turn to, but we are told that the residents of this area of the world, along the sea and along the banks of the Jordan, were called Canaanites. Canaanite woman approaches the Jesus who could not be hidden. She has an interesting request. She has heard of Jesus. She has heard of his miracles, his compassion, his work. And she simply requests, would you please, while you're dispensing mercy, have mercy on me? You probably prayed the same prayer. Son of David, this messianic title, have mercy on me. And she lays out a problem. She has a demon-possessed daughter. Those of you that don't think there are real devils, you're wrong.
Amen.
The devil's at work as much now as he was in Jesus' day and before. She has a daughter that is overtaken by evil spirits. The Jesus I think I know well is not in this text. At least not in this part of the text. Because the Jesus I have known and have been coming to know well since I was 12 years old would immediately show compassion when any woman said, I have a demon-possessed daughter. And yet this text troubles me because this text says, and Jesus answered her not a word. I'm not accustomed to Jesus being silent in the face of demonic activity. That's his specialty.
Yes, yes.
I'm expecting him to spring into deliverance mode and cast the demon out. But this text says Jesus gave her the silent treatment. The Jesus I know would have embraced her and said, there now. We're going to fix this. Is this your baby girl? Is this your only child? How old is she? Tell me a little bit about her. I was expecting Jesus to show some of that great compassion for which he's known. And this text says, Jesus said nothing. The silence of the eternal is downright disturbing. Jesus, who has the ability to literally change her life, says not a word. I must confess, in my study, I stayed on verse 23, clause A, for a long time. I just couldn't figure it out. I just didn't know why Jesus would be silent, and I still don't know. Just in case you're ahead of me and say, what's the answer, Pastor? I don't know. Which, by the way, are 3 words we need to say more often.
Amen. Amen.
Instead of making up stuff. However, the disciples are not silent. They're going to talk. But they are no more helpful than Jesus was with his silence. He's silent, not helpful to the woman. And they say, send her away. Sometimes we think being verbal is always the right response to awkward silence, but not always. Some verbiage is worse than silence. Amen. Here's an illustration. Jesus says nothing, and the disciples speak. And they suggest that this woman needs to be sent away. She is a bother. She is an annoyance. She is an intrusion. She is a diversion. She has needs, and we can't have that. After all, we're in ministry. We don't have time for needy people. We got ministry to do. We can't be bothered with a woman who has a sick daughter, all her mental health issues. She got issues. And we don't want to take them on. So Jesus, let's just send her away. Jesus did not answer the woman, but he does answer the disciples. But again, the Jesus I know is not in this text, at least not in this line he delivers to the disciples. Because he uses the language of exclusion and implies that he's not available to everybody, including this woman. Listen to what he says. This is right after the disciples say, send her away. And he says, I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. America first. Jews first is what Jesus seems to be saying here. Jews are the most important. The house of Israel and the people who are lost in that house. I don't know that we need to give a lot of attention, seems to be the implication, to this Canaanite woman. The Jesus speaking here is not the Jesus that I think of. The Jesus I think of has whosoever will let him come written across his forehead. But here he says, I came for a specific group of people. He uses this language which is disturbing. The Jesus I know does not ever say he came only for Americans or only for people of the United Kingdom or only for whites or only for Asians or only for blacks or only for Latinos or only for people from Buckhead or only for people from Fayetteville or only people who are in the 1% or only people who are homeless or people who are formally educated or people who are illiterate. The 24th verse disturbs me. It shows that Jesus, at least implies, Jesus is not everybody's deliverer. After the woman prays one of the shortest prayers on record, Lord, help me, Jesus delivers another insult. And he's already insulted the woman by saying, I didn't come for you. I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, Ingrid, he says, it's just not right to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs. You can just picture that. If this woman was of a certain era and a certain, I'm trying to be very cautious. If this was a certain kind of woman that I have met, the hand would go on the hip, and the question would be raised, who are you calling a dog? This woman, true, not an Israelite, is so little thought of that she and her demon-possessed daughter are referred to as dogs. And the woman has a comeback. I was thinking this week about great comeback lines. She's got a good one. I looked up some comeback lines. Some of them I knew and I recall, but I wanted to hear some fresh ones. I heard about a guy who said, when I die, I want my epitaph to read, mistakes were made. Somebody came back, wasn't that already on your birth certificate? That was cold. That was just cold. A son said to his mother, as she was trying to be funny, Mom, stop. You're not funny. You never make jokes. His mother's come back, I made you. Noel Coward, the great British playwright, had a long-running feud with Edna Ferber, the writer. Noel Coward said to Ferber, you look like a man. Edna Ferber said, so do you. George Bernard Shaw, British playwright, Irish playwright rather, had a very friendly relationship with Winston Churchill, Prime Minister. Shaw had a play opening, and he wrote to Mr. Churchill and said, have reserved 2 tickets for opening night for you. Come bring a friend if you have one. Churchill wrote back, it's impossible for me to come on the first night. We'll come the second night if you have one. I'll give you one more. Then I want to look at this woman's comeback. Dorothy Parker, great writer, satirist, poet, said to Calvin Coolidge, who was known for not talking much. He could sit for a couple of hours and not say a word. Dorothy Parker said to Mr. Coolidge, I've made a bet against a fellow who said it was impossible to get more than 2 words out of you. Coolidge said, you lose. Some of you are slow, you're going to get that. This woman's comeback is as witty, sharp, as these to whom I've just referred. All right, she says, let's say that my daughter and I are dogs. Let's give you that one. And by the way, the Greek word here for dogs is really, it's little dog. It's Canarian. It's a tame house dog. It's a puppy. Little fella. That kind of dog that would sit in your lap while you're watching TV. That kind of dog. It's not, you dog. It's not that. She says, this is the paraphrase, let's say we are dogs, my daughter and I. Even dogs get crumbs. What sounds like another request is actually a statement of faith. Have mercy on me, Son of David. Lord, help me. It's her prayer, her request. Now, in what sounds like another request, the woman makes a statement of faith. Here's the line of reasoning. Maybe I can't get all your attention. Maybe I can't get full healing and deliverance. Could I just get a crumb? Could I just get a little piece? If she doesn't come to know all his power, a portion of it will do.
Amen.
I sat in my study and I was working on this text and I started getting very excited. I thought, even her comeback has tremendous insight in it. Yes, Lord, suppose we agree that I don't deserve all that the lost sheep of the house of Israel deserve. Can a sister get a crumb? Can you just break me off a piece? I don't have to have the whole loaf. All right, let's say I'm a dog. Can a dog get a crumb? Can I get a piece of biscuit? Here she is, believing that even a little bit of Jesus would meet her need. This woman is thinking that given who Jesus is, a little could go a long way. She's not trying to jump the line. She's not trying to get ahead of all the lost sheep of Israel. Maybe the Israelites are to get the first blessing. Could I get the last?
All right.
Maybe they are to get the whole loaf. Could I get a crumb? Maybe they are entitled to the children's bread. Could I get the children's crumb?
Yes.
This reminds me of the story of a woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment. Matthew chapter 9.
Yes.
She believed that simply being near Jesus and getting a little piece of him would meet her need.
Yes.
I don't have to touch his whole garment. I don't have to touch his person. I don't have to hug him. If you could just give me access to the fringe of his garment, I'll be all right. There's somebody here this morning, and you need Jesus' attention, and you need Jesus' power, and you need Jesus' passion, and you need all that Jesus offers. And sometimes you don't think you're at the place where you can get all of Jesus, like these mature, seasoned saints seem to have. Just get a little bit. Still meet your need. It'll still meet your need. To believe that simply being near Jesus and believing that even a bit of what he offers will be good for us is a statement of faith. Here is this woman saying, I just believe you are what I need I'll take crumbs. But crumbs from your table are better than what I'm eating right now.
All right.
And in both these narratives, the narrative here before us and the narrative of the woman who touches the hem of Jesus' garment, Jesus grants healing. Here in our text, Jesus tells the woman, I don't want you to think I'm making this up. I want to read what he says to the woman. Oh, woman. The Greek word for great, by the way, here is mega. You know the word mega.
Yes.
You have mega fest, mega malls. You know mega. Mega store. Big, large, extraordinary size. Listen to what Jesus says. Oh, woman, mega is your faith.
Right.
Out of the ordinary is your faith, in degree, in size, in effect. And the desired healing of your demon-possessed daughter shall be granted.
Amen.
I didn't see a whole lot of faith on the woman's part. I certainly didn't see great faith. I saw need. I saw her saying, you can help me. I didn't see what I thought was great faith. But it really is great faith. She came to come at all to the Christ is a statement and an act of faith. To believe that he has what we need is an act of faith.
Yes. Yes.
For her to come in behalf of another and say, I believe you can meet our needs, is an act and a statement of faith. Great, mega is your faith.
All right.
Oh, woman. Some of us here have sought out the Christ who could not be hidden. We've seen his power, and we long to see it operate in our lives. We have heard Jesus. We have heard that he came, offering the children's bread, his healing, his deliverance from demons. And we have wanted to receive what he offers. We have cried out, Son of David, have mercy on me. And he has heard us. Some in this room have a more intimate experience with Jesus than others have. Some are dining at the table with Jesus and eating hunks of bread. But there are some who have not come to the table, who are not up close to the Savior. You're on the edge. You've just gotten the crumbs. But a crumb from Jesus is better than a whole loaf from the evil one.
All right. All right.
And out of those crumbs, the waste parts of the bread, comes that which is of infinite worth. There's great value in crumbs. I use breadcrumbs in salads and soups and in cooking. Who would think that the dregs would be useful, would be nourishing? I recently read the story of a company called TerraCycle. TerraCycle is a recycling and manufacturing company. One of the things they recycle is diapers, babies' diapers, to the Brits, nappies. They take the diaper and they break it down, and the absorbent material, after being sanitized, can be used for pet products like doggy pee pads, or for a fiber additive in concrete. Some concrete has baby diapers in it, recycled. The plastic parts will join TerraCycle's existing plastic blends from other products and they eventually make a synthesized wood out of it for park benches and picnic tables or shipping pallets. Park goers don't even know sometimes that they're sitting this is how real do I want to keep it. They're sitting on recycled poo-poo pads. Here is a company that thinks we could make something of worth out of something most people consider waste.
Yeah.
Jesus does the same thing.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
He thought you were not to be put in a landfill. He thought you were worth saving.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
So he gave himself.
Glory.
He thought you were worth at least a crumb.
Hallelujah.
And he's right.
Yes.
Lord, have mercy on me and my daughter. That's the children's bread. That's not available to everybody, except maybe people of mega faith. Let us pray. Holy God.